Hey everyone, Aaron Stewart from the Little Black Couch, just trying to get my framing correct. So important on these lives, as my good buddy, the friendly giant Nick Fitzgerald will tell you. He goes live all the time on his show. If you have a chance, definitely jump over and follow him on Facebook. He's the master at Facebook Lives, and had him over here I guess it was last week. Had him over here last week to show me some things on Facebook Lives and how to do them, how to get it all set up, and it's been totally helpful. So thanks, Nick, if you're watching this. Peace, brother. Thank you very much. Looks like we're live and we're going well. So let's jump into this. Just a really quick live today. I came in to the office to do some things. I've got some podcasts to get out and some different things to do and some stuff bouncing around in my head that I needed to get out so I could relax on this Saturday and prepare for Sunday. And as I got in here, I was going through some things and found a funny little thank you video that I didn't know I'd received, actually. And so I played it, and after about I don't know, I laughed very hard from these two individuals who are a very lively married couple who travel constantly together for a living. They do stuff that you have to be very young to do, and I traveled a lot when I was younger. I definitely could not travel like they do now, but it was really fun. It was a situation that I want to jump into a little bit and talk about as it applies to entrepreneurship, because that is what we do here from the safe confines of the Little Black Couch. So let's get going. Welcome back. So yeah, I just want to set this up really quickly. So I'm in a few different coaching programs. I'm in a few different masterminds. It is a crazy busy time right now, developing programs, gathering a bunch of stuff for a book. It's just it's a crazy time. I've got different people I've worked with on different aspects of actually receiving coaching and then actually giving coaching out. So it's a really exciting and interesting time in my life right now as I try to sort out, what are the next, 10 years, 20 years look like for me? And, you get to later on in your life and you start asking these questions, what can I do to, make a little bit more of what I've learned and what I've done? And I never really felt, they call it imposter syndrome. I never really felt like my experiences and things that I'd gone through were all that interesting. I mean, you go home, it's the old funny adage, right? You go home each night and your wife asks you what you did that day and you kind of go, I don't really want to talk about that. I just lived it, and sometimes it was hectic and crazy, and sometimes things went wrong, and sometimes things went great, and I was just tired. That's at the end of every day. So bless my poor wife's heart. I mean, she was always so interested, but I don't think I was always as, giving and that I explained as much as I probably should. And she's home doing the hardest job in the world is that of a mother. Period. And I have talked to people ad nauseum about that, and nobody has been able to move me off that point. Motherhood is the most extraordinary and wonderful occupation on earth, period. So good luck. And I'd love to discuss that because I've never lost an argument when it comes to that. So anyway, but that's beside the point. So you get into these places where you're not exactly sure if you have anything to offer at all, the world. And yet all of us are unique And I think all of us probably look around and see a lot of talented people around us and say to ourselves, man, it would be cool to have that talent or that understanding or that wisdom, those experiences. And not that we necessarily compare. I've never really felt like I needed to compare myself to others. And I know that that is a huge blessing in my life. I definitely have people in my life that compare themselves all the time. And that is a tough neighborhood to live in when you're trying to live up to and you're not even living up to any reality. You're living up to your perception of reality of what that person's life's like. And we know that that's total garbage, right? They all have everybody's got, the room full of cow manure that they're dealing with. So anyhow, so you go through your life and you get to this point where you're like, hey, do I have anything to offer at all? And that is an excellent question. And the answer is becoming clearer and clearer to me that it's an unequivocal yes. We all have something to offer. We are all extraordinary in some way. We all are geniuses in some aspect of our lives. And that is the part of us that if we share could benefit the world. Okay, right? So there is that. So I've sort of over the course of the last maybe year kind of come to grips with the fact that, hey, I might have something to offer. And I will say this too. I have been working with youth groups now. And by youth groups, I mean it's a church situation. But I have been involved in these youth groups now for quite some time. Over 3 years, coming up on 4 years now. So I've had this great opportunity to work with a lot of kids in their late teens and early 20s all the way up through 30 and get to talk with them and counsel with them and discuss life with them. And they will sometimes ask questions and I'll throw out a quick answer to them and their eyes will, get wide and their countenance will change and brighten up and they'll say, wow, that is wonderful information. I thought, are you kidding? I mean, any dipstick could come up with that. And yet over the course, there's just a lot that we pick up over the course of our lives that we don't consider to be very valuable. But it's valuable based on your time, right? Where you are in life. So something that's second nature to me might be something that's very helpful to somebody who is, following behind me 20, 30 years. And so I'm coming to this realization that, okay, maybe, within this very dense, slow, dim-witted package, there might be some things that we could share that would be helpful to someone. And I did have an experience like that. And so that's what I kind of wanted to get into today. And I wanted to share it with you. And I hope that the individuals that threw this back at me won't mind. I don't think they will. They're of the generation where you throw everything up on film, right? You make everything public and then you deal with it. They're a very fun couple, newly married. I think they're coming up on their first year anniversary, but they're just traveling and coaching and doing all kinds of crazy things together. And I got involved with them into one of these coaching programs that I'm in. And we were in what they call a power group. And there's a number of us that just get together every single week and we discuss our needs. We discuss where one another can help each other. And then we kind of go through the week sharing messages and different things and support one another. So it was in that type of a situation where I got to know these two individuals, which was totally fun. So that's what I wanted to jump in and share with you today and talk about a little bit. But before we do that, it would be a very rude of me to not bring in the star of the show and really the guy who kind of sets the tone, right, for the rest of the show. So let's bring in Buddy the Couch. And I realized, I absolutely did not bring him in yesterday's live, which I know he's still upset about, but we talked about it this morning. I did have a little nap, which seems to put him in a better mood. And, but anyway, so yeah, the video that I shared today, and these 3 smiley faces, thank you, Buddy, for sharing that with us, is kind of how we both reacted to this video. And I will say this too, this generation, I've heard some others that do it this way. When they meet somebody new or they have a thought or something about them, they send them these quick little hit videos that kind of shares their personality, shares who they are, and then is able to give them, a different flavor to a thank you, which I think is pretty interesting because I've received thank yous in the past, usually via email or in person, they are not quite this exuberant, right? And I'll set up the situation. So the situation was, this is a young couple who is setting up their businesses, and they're trying to figure things out as entrepreneurs. And they are working through it. And it's so fun to watch those that are getting started and work their way through it. Well, they had a question on how to implement, how to organize their time, what was the most important thing to focus on within their project, and how they could ascertain that, right? How they could decide where they should spend their time and what they should be doing. And they asked this, now they were in this little power group, so I had some affinity to these people because I know them more so than I would have any other way, but we're also in the same sort of larger group. And so they posed a question to the entire group. And there's over 1,000 in this group. And one, I noticed that you know what? I should have probably talked to them more before they had to go and present their question to the entire group. But I also recognized that, hey, if you have the ability to ask the question to 1,000 as opposed to just 5, then that's not a bad way to go either, especially when the 1,000, there's so many that have been so experienced and seen so much success in this group as it is. So just a moment. I've been told on lives that that's not rude. So, and neither is not shaving. So anyway, so here we are. So this couple just put out this question, again, asking what they should do. What should their next steps be? Essentially asking for some coaching. So I read it. It was pretty late at night, I think one night. But when I read the question, the answer was very clear to me. It was a very simple one. And so I sat down and typed out a little response back to them. And I guess it was well received because this is what I received. Now, they sent this like a week ago. And I, being as technologically, not unsavvy, I guess I'm quite savvy when it comes to technology. I've been dealing in it since 1999. But I don't always, at least the social media side of it, I don't always go in and hang out on social media. I'm always kind of more here trying to work on my own little projects. And sometimes I forget to go in and kind of check in. Well, this last week I've been having head down, working like crazy, trying to pull a lot of these projects together. We've got some really cool stuff I'm working on. I've got a cousin in town from Arizona, I think I mentioned earlier, who is brilliant when it comes to systems and organization. So I've brought in his brilliance to help me kind of work through some of these procedures to turn it into a business, essentially a solution that will help a lot of entrepreneurs, especially modern day entrepreneurs. So I'm very excited about it. But so I've been heads down, not really paying much attention to Facebook. But first, I want to apologize to Nick and Monica for not responding to this earlier, because this was the cutest thing and exactly the kind of thing that that when you get encourages you to be more forthcoming maybe with some of the stuff that you've got in your life. So I'm going to play that now, and then we'll talk about it a little bit after. So here we go.
We just want you to know,
as a mate,
you're amazing!
you're the bomb.com, bro.
Thank you
so much.
for that clarity.
Cheers, man.
Cripes. We've been going around in bajillion circles, and that gave us, you literally broke it down, and we understand exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Thank you for connecting
Cheers,
the dots
man.
for us. Thank you!
I'm going to play it again, just so I can finish laughing. Okay, ready? One more time.
We just want you to know,
As a mate,
you're amazing!
you're the bomb.com, bro.
Thank you
so
for
much.
that clarity.
Cheers, man.
Cripes. We've been going around in bajillion circles, and that gave us, you literally broke it down, and we understand exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Thank you for connecting
Cheers,
the dots
man.
for us. Thank you!
Okay, so that's why Buddy and I are laughing. I mean, is that... Okay, so you don't typically get thank yous like that, but I appreciate very much that. I have downloaded that video. I will watch it a number of times, I know, over the course of the next, until my last breath, right? I mean, that's really fun. And that's the point I'm trying to make of this live that has gotten way longer than I thought it would, is that every one of you out there who is trying to do something in your life has done something in your life. And what you have learned is valuable to somebody somewhere in their life. And to you, it might seem simple. I literally responded to this couple with a very simple, to me, answer. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot to their question, frankly. And yet to them, it was obviously somewhere that was causing them quite a bit of concern and frustration and confusion. And so being able to share a little bit of what I've learned over the course of the years, and again, it was nothing earth-shattering, I promise you. This is not anything earth-shattering. I am not very smart. But over the course of the years of learning and living entrepreneurship and studying it and reading book after book and just trying to be involved in it, I obviously picked up something that was helpful to somebody. And each one of us has that ability. And the more that we get out and serve, so the more that we listen to questions, really serving is about solving people's problems. And that's all I did here. It was a little bit of service. Could I have ignored it? Yeah. Did it take me a couple minutes to write it down? Yeah, 5 or 10. But it was obviously a huge benefit to this couple. And I'm so grateful that I took the time to do it, because what I got back from that is, again, a couple things. One, I shared some knowledge with them, which made me, again, go through it very clearly and develop those thoughts in my head. It's what experts like to call deep practice. Anytime you think through when you think through any sort of concept once again and work your way all the way through it, you're developing the melanin in your brain surrounding certain neural network pathways that then make it easier for you to think about those things down the road. And so essentially that's all I was doing. It was already there, and I basically just reinforced it. And those neural pathways haven't been developed yet in this couple, but they will. Essentially, and I provided them some feedback that will speed up their ability to start doing it and building those neural pathways and building up the myelin in their own brain. So next time down there, 20 years from now, when somebody else has that question, it will be easy for them. Okay, so that's part of being an entrepreneur. We are problem solvers. And so get out there and share of yourself and help solve other people's problems. You don't know where those solutions will help somebody. And I actually saw a live yesterday from Nick. And Nick Fitzgerald, again, a great follow. Definitely pop over The Friendly Giant. You can find him there. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Nick, this is for you. I still kept it. So he came over and helped me set up things, and we did a little live together. And so anyway, so I still have that on there, and I can use it and steal it anytime. Free advertising for Nick Fitzgerald, The Friendly Giant. Definitely check him out. He's an expert on Facebook Lives and branding and story and all of that. But anyway, I was listening to one of Nick's lives yesterday, and he talked about how you never know when your message is going to, and he has a very powerful story about he got live one day and he didn't feel like doing it, and it turns out that somebody that he didn't know, that he knew in his past happened to catch his live, and she was considering suicide and ending it all. And yet his message was enough, and she was pregnant. So his message was enough for her to reach out and say thank you, that it meant something to her. He didn't get any business or anything from it, but he reached out and shared, and that solved somebody else's problem and actually saved a couple lives. So that's obviously an extreme case, but you never know. Honestly, I will say this. You never know what you've learned until you start sharing it. Right? Until you start answering questions and serving people, you won't know what you've got inside. It just sits in there. The only way to kind of figure that out is to share it, get out, and help people. And as you help people, your message will develop. As you help people, honestly, your confidence will grow, because you'll realize that what you have can be valuable to some people. So Nick and Monica, they have definitely given me a boost of confidence that, whatever silly little things I've learned over my life that seem simple to me have helped them. And that's what this is all about. What this does for you is it creates in all of us, as we serve and help people solve problems, that we just develop a habit of solving problems. And that is where you want to be as an entrepreneur. you will notice then opportunities to solve problems. And some of these solutions can become businesses that are not only very helpful, but very lucrative. See how that works out? So that's what I wanted to share today. Get out, share, help other people. Just see what you've got. And you only know that by getting out there and doing it. And remember, please, folks, entrepreneurs change the world. I don't know. I think that that's great. They do, so it's truthful. Anyway, that's it for this Saturday. I'm going to get back to work. Got a lot to do today. Just wanted to go live and say, entrepreneurs rock. We are changing the world. We need to stick together. Don't listen to the rest of the world. Don't go take a government job. My gosh, that's terrible. I can't believe why anybody would do that to themselves. And to all you that are working for the government, get out now and go do something creative and wonderful, and not call me on the phone and ask for my tax money. I do not like it, and you are not helpful to me or those around me. So thanks everybody. Until next time, Aaron Stewart from the Little Black Couch, reminding you that you have something important to say, so say it, and you'll become a better entrepreneur by doing it. See ya.